I've been taking some notes. Let me take a stab here of trying to do some recapping of some of the points we made. We talked about progress. I liked the idea of Cloud 2.0. We've moved beyond the idea of, what is cloud. We're now on how we're going to implement cloud in the next version, and clearly it is now real. It is no longer just something people are talking about. It's real. It's a major strategy that everyone here is embracing. We talked a bit about commercialization of cloud and the need for hybrids. There's still a need for hybrid, but we also talked about the trends. The trends are moving more and more towards commercial. Start with the easy back office stuff and then work your way up so you can prove the concepts first, then move into the next generations. When we talked about specific programs, I was impressed with David's comment of going from 17 different email systems down to one. That might not sound, sexy or whatever, but having been there and done that, knowing that that's not a trivial thing to do in an agency to get to that point. When we talked about programs, we talked a lot about collaboration. I think collaboration came up over and over again with talking about successful programs, the need to collaborate amongst internally, collaborate with industry, collaborate with other agencies, and cloud is going to be a great enabler of that. We talked about security intelligence. I think Dan brought that up, that with cloud you have an opportunity to offer more intelligence about security and what's happening, and it can be viewed as an opportunity to take a holistic approach to securing your infrastructure. Challenges, people and culture was all over that, and it always is. Anytime you talk about technology, anytime you talk about technology transformation, people and culture are a big deal. We've had people say many, many times, it's not the technology, it's the people and culture change that needs to go along with the technology. We talked about the need for more authority to operate in companies that can work and get more certifications done. FedRAMP came up several times as being an enabler of that, and changes to FedRAMP, speeding up the process is becoming a big deal. We talked about the challenges around security, that it's one thing in moving certain data to the clouds, but we have things that are like national security issues, and you mentioned the nuclear issues and things like that, that are a totally different set of issues that need to be looked at. We talked about lessons learned. One of the things that resonated with me is pretty much everyone says you got to do a self-assessment and first get your governance and your own IT shop in place and modernize it. We don't want to move old stuff and old processes to another platform. We're not really accomplishing anything. And I actually know of a story of an agency moved several things to the cloud, but they didn't have the money to move everything. So now they're basically operating double what they were operating in the first place. So it was like sort of made no sense to not have the plans and the money in place first. We talked about the need to partner. We talked about cloud doesn't fix problems. You need to fix the problems. Don't expect cloud to be this panacea that's going to make all your issues go away. And the good IT practices and governance. When we talked about future, we talked about cloud becoming more of a standard down the road, a standard operating platform. It won't be think about as it was in the past where, we have our operations and then we'll think about going to the cloud. You'll be think about cloud first strategies. Lots of transformation happening at the same time. It's not just all about cloud. I think that was brought up. You've got a lot of things to manage and they've all got to come together so you don't have two ships missing each other in the night. IT borders dissolving, and we talked a lot about mobility and the next generation workforce and how they're going to have expectations in this area. For me, it's another knowledge sharing session in a wonderful way to talk about things, and hopefully we're talking about things that will benefit next generations and our kids and our grandkids down the road, because you are all in positions to do that. With